It's Taste of Country Nights with Evan Paul on demand, Season 2, Episode 15 with Tyler Hubbard, formerly of Florida Georgia Line. Are y'all done having kids?
Bro, I'm tired. I'm snipped. We're done.
Oh, you are snipped?
Yeah, bro. Yep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I set my own appointment the day that we had our third child. I was like, this, no more.
Oh, man, it was a fun conversation with Tyler Hubbard. Also, a bonus on the end of this, a full conversation that we just had with Sam Hunt about his new song and EP, both titled Locked Up. And we get into some good details about Sam getting arrested back in the 2019, I think it was, and his marital issues that he had. It's two informative interviews. You're going to learn a lot about these two people, Tyler Hubbard and Sam Hunt, big forces in country music. If you missed our past interviews at Taste of Country Nights on demand, we've had recently Jelly Roll, Keith Urban, American Idol winner Chase Beckham have all been on there. Just search for Taste of Country Nights on demand, part of the Town Square Media Podcast Network. What's up, T-Hubs?
What's up, Evan? How you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for chatting with me this morning.
Yeah, of course, man. A bunch of songs on the album were written while you were touring with Keith. Did you guys talk songwriting a lot, like philosophies and stuff?
Me and Keith?
Yeah.
No, we didn't a whole lot. I only got him on the bus a couple times. He was a busy man, but we always talk about songs. I know he's a songsmith, bro. He loves music and loves songs, and I definitely bounced some songs off of him and got his opinion. Just because I respect his opinion so much. But, I got to give Keith credit, I mean, we pulled a lot of energy from his show, from his fans, from getting to be out there playing shows and kind of meeting my fans as well. And it's just really cool to get to, take it directly from the stage and from the live show and get to go back to the bus and start, creating kind of this next record.
Okay. Keith told me, I just had him in the other day. He said, sometimes I get inspirations for songs and I drop them into like fireflies into a jar and close them. And then when you need inspiration, you open them and you grab a firefly. Are you kind of like that?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I keep ongoing notes on my phone, just tons of ideas, mostly bad ideas, but every now and then there's a good one in there. And anytime something pops up in conversation or I'll hear something and be like, that's an interesting idea, concept, or title. So I'll write it down and usually kind of pull from that when I need inspiration.
Is there a place where you find most inspiration when you're writing?
Something about being on a tour bus is super inspiring when it comes to writing songs. And I don't know what it is, but I think a lot of the distractions are kind of, the noise is in the background and the distractions are kind of away, and we're able to just hunker down for the time we're out on the road and just be on that bus and just focus on writing. And I would say we've talked about that. Me and my songwriting buddies are like, there's nothing like being on a tour bus, especially if you can be on tour. And, like I said, watch the live show, get inspired, and then go create on the bus. It's really fun.
I want to talk about your song, Park. I want to know the time where you got caught making out with a girl in a church parking lot, and I want to know why a church parking lot.
Well, it was the darkest parking lot on the way home. I think I was actually going home from church, and I was about a mile from the house, and I should have just went onto the house and sat in the driveway, but we pulled over, and we were sitting there, and next thing you know, blue lights were behind us, and we were like, uh-oh. So and I was 15 years old. I didn't even have my license yet. My girlfriend was 16, so we were in her car.
Yeah.
And she was driving me around at the time, and the cop ended up escorting me home, making it a thing, bro. Had to go, walked up to the front door, had to tell my dad, it was kind of a...
What did you tell your dad? Oh, yeah, I was making out. Your dad's probably like, yeah.
I was pretty honest with him, and he was like, why didn't you just come home, son? Why'd you, why didn't you just sit in the driveway and do it? So anyways, we were... But he did. He still had to discipline me. I was grounded for like a month, dude, from riding around with my girlfriend, which kind of at that time was pretty devastating. A month is forever, and then you got no ability to get anywhere. So that was lesson learned. Next time I wanted to park, I just went to the driveway.
Did she stay with you after your month probation?
I think she did. Yeah. She waited it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Good times, right?
Yeah, man, good times, dudes. Speaking of your dad, I want to talk about song 73 Beetle. It is an ode to your father in some ways. A couple questions about this. Are you a car guy?
I like cars, but I wouldn't consider myself a car guy. Mainly because I don't have room I don't have room for any more toys or cars, or I don't even have a barn right now. So I'm downsizing. I'm simplifying my life. I still have the Beetle. It's in a shop getting some work done and hopefully getting finished up at some point in the next year. But I have that. I have a Studebaker, like a 53 Studebaker that me and my wife drove away from our wedding in. So I kept that as kind of like a souvenir. And but that's it, And then I got my pickup truck, and that's all I have. So I wouldn't consider myself a real car guy, even though I do love cars. Me and my dad used to grow up going to car shows and stuff too, so I got a little bit of it in me.
Why was the 73 Beetle so important to your father?
He just loved Volkswagens, specifically Beetles, and we had 3 or 4 growing up, but this one specifically we had in the yard growing up. That's what I learned to drive on. That's how I learned to drive a stick shift, and then we just decided, let's rebuild this thing and make it a really cool hot rod. And we dreamed it up and spent years in the garage doing it all ourselves. And then I was going to have it finished when I was 16. We started when I was 14, and the goal was to have it finished. And needless to say, we didn't finish it. And then just kept working away on it and thinking, well, I'll have it by I'm 17. Then it was 18, and then I moved to college, and it never officially got on the road. But a lot of great memories. That car is really special to me and just reminds me of him a ton. So wanted to write a song about it.
You're a father now, obviously. Do you ever go down that rabbit hole of thinking about, if something happened to you and your kids were left to grow up without a dad, man?
I do, man. I think that's one of my that's a fear. That's a new fear, I try not to think about it too much, but I've definitely become more of a cautious guy. I mean, I used to let it hang out, man. And nowadays I'm a lot more cautious. I'm a lot more calculated. You know what I'm saying? And
Dude,
got a lot more to live for. So I know the importance of having a dad around. I was fortunate, really, to have one a great, incredible dad until I was 20. And so yeah, I definitely think about that, and that's a fear of mine for sure. But we're doing all we can to stay healthy and live life to the fullest at the same time.
I gotta ask the hard hitters, bro. Are y'all done having a family? You get them tied up,
bro. I'm tied. I'm snipped. We're done.
Oh, you are snipped.
Yeah, bro. Yep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I set my own appointment the day that we had our third child. I was like, this, no more, because it was happening quick. It was just like, I don't even know how this is happening. This turnaround's ridiculous. So we had 3 kids under 3 years old, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get snipped. My wife was like, are you sure? I'm like, positive. She was like, it's kind of a big deal. I'm like, nah, I got no problem with commitment. Let's go. So,
I want to get back to your songwriting. Is there a song that you've been trying to write for years, but you just can't find the lyrics or you can't find the melody?
Good question. Nothing off the top of my head that I can think of. I mean, like I said, I got a stack of titles that need writing at some point, but yeah, I haven't really felt stuck on an idea. Fortunately, I get to be around incredible songwriters that make it all happen and help me kind of put the puzzle pieces together a lot of times. But so yeah, I guess I don't really have a song sitting around that's got me stumped at this point.
Okay, it's 2034. I'm on with Tyler Hubbard. What are you doing 10 years down the road?
10 years. Oh, baby. Hopefully I'm playing about 40 or 50 shows a year.
Okay.
Writing about 75 songs a year.
Okay.
Basically doing what I'm doing now. I play about 80 shows a year right now, so I'll cut back on the shows a bit, but I'll still write a lot of songs and hopefully just hang out with my family and make a lot of memories. The kids will be at a pretty sweet age at that point. 10 years from now, they'll be 13, 14, and 16, which will be, whoa, that'll be wild. So Yeah, dude. I'll probably be chasing kids around trying to keep the house under control, but it'll be fun.
Give me your best and worst days in country music.
Wow. You're coming with the heavy hitters.
Heavy
best
hitters,
and worst
man.
day. Man, my best day in country music was probably when I signed my first publishing deal and got to quit washing cars to pay the bills, and I could write songs to pay the bills. And that was, in my opinion, at that point, I had made it, and I was getting next to nothing to write songs, but I was able to pay my bills, and that's all I needed at the time. So that was one of the greatest days of my country music career. Probably the worst day was when I got news that the pandemic hit and we weren't playing shows anymore. That was a rough one. That took the wind out of the sails for a while. So yeah, that's what comes to mind first.
I'll take that. Beyonce and Post Malone, a couple hip hop artists making big plays in country music. Obviously, you have a couple feet in that world. You know what I'm saying? Who else do you think would make a great country record? Other, you can't say Nelly.
Yeah, he's already made a couple, hasn't he?
Yeah.
This is, oh man, good question. I think it'd be interesting to see somebody like Jack Harlow, who I'm a big fan of. I know he's a Kentucky dude. I know he's got some country roots, and I know he's got a lot of swag. I think it could be cool to see what he would do on a country record,
Okay. I'm in.
Yep.
Let's get that timed out, you and him.
Let's get it working. That'd be fun.
Beyonce's obviously getting the "you're not country" reaction on social media. You've gotten that, before back in the day. What would you tell her or anyone who's hearing the same thing?
I'd say it's not up for other people to decide who you are. You can be whatever you want to be and whoever you want to be, and I think everybody's got their own definition of what country is, and at this point, who really cares? If it's good music, it's good music. It's good music. And I think at the same time, it's kind of cool if someone's not as country, if you will, or maybe that means they're bringing more people to the genre and giving us more exposure, which I think is really cool. So, I kind of consider it an honor, to be honest. But yeah, I've never really let that. What is country? I know it's a lifestyle and all that, but she might be more country than a lot of people even realize. They only know what they see, so who knows?
All right, yeah, you were in the crowd. We were looking back when she performed with the Chicks in 2016. What was going through your head? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. Where was that at?
Shoot, I don't know.
You don't remember it either, then.
Yeah, it was at the CMAs or something, but that's
cool. Honestly, I think they've, in our genre, we've been kind of collaborating with artists from all kinds of genres for a long time. And I think it's, like I said, I like it. I think it's cool. And I've been a part of it at times. And I think it's neat to blend worlds and blend genres and connect people together.
You're the man. This was a great album to listen to, man. This is awesome.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate you saying that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, let's roll. I like it. I can't wait for everyone to hear it, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, buddy. You too, man. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks. You too, man.
See you, dude.
Now, as a special bonus on this podcast episode, we also got to sit down with Sam Hunt. We had a few minutes with him. He's got his new EP out called Locked Up. Okay, let's dive into here. Obviously, Locked Up, takes a look at your arrest from a few years ago. Sounds like it was a real turning point for you. Did that happen immediately, or did you need like a little while to get there?
What's that? Did what happen immediately?
The turning point for you, that after the arrest.
Well, turning point meaning, what do you mean? Like the song, the creation of the song, or?
Yeah, just in life in general.
Being able to reflect on it. Yeah, I mean, well, it was a wake-up call immediately, the next day. But I think over time, you reflect on it, you realize, you learn from your mistakes. I think the song itself, though, is not, it may seem autobiographical if you connect the dots, but, I made a point not to go into the details in the song about my story. So I tried to zoom it out and make it more relatable so that it's, it feels more about, more like it's about making a big mistake and having your, or messing up and having your significant other stick with you through that. And realizing through that how much she loves you and how much you love her and how strong your bond is. So
Did you throughout these past few years spend a lot of nights on the couch? Be honest.
No. One beautiful thing about my Hannah is that she is she forgives quickly, and I also have a rule that I'm not sleeping on the couch. So she's gonna have to she's gonna have to shoot me before I don't sleep in my own bed.
Does she like the song?
I think so. Yeah, she likes it. I played it for her when I had the idea initially, and I didn't have any verses. And I just had the chorus, and I played it for her, and she liked it. She approved of it, and then I've since wrote the verses, and I think she likes it. Sometimes she'll get excited about my stuff, but one of the great things about her is that she could care less really about my career or the songs that I write. She's supportive and encourages me, but she is not easily impressed.
Dude, I get it. My wife's the same way, just about radio stuff. I'll be like, "Oh, I did this great radio," and she's like,
"We
cool,
need
man.
it. We need somebody." I think as men, we need somebody in our life to keep our feet on the ground.
How hard was it to get Hannah to co-star in the video?
Well, I thought she would be reluctant, but and she was a little reluctant, but she agreed to it with a little coaxing. So I was happy about that. She just didn't want to be in there too much. So she got to look at the edits before we finished it up and make sure that she was okay and with the shots and all that. So I'm happy that she was willing to dress up for me and humor me on that one.
Was it filmed in an actual prison?
Yeah, there's a prison, an old prison east of Nashville, about 2 hours that is it's closed down now, and I don't know if you call it. I don't know if they set it up if you can tour it and that sort of thing, but I think you can. But yeah, it was an old prison. James Earl Ray was there years ago and tried to escape, and they ended up tracking him down. But it's a spooky place, but fitting for what the concept we had. You know, Folsom Prison vibes.
Who was who were the prisoners? Were they actors?
So those are all, the inmates. Those were guys from the town, and I'm trying to think of the name of the town. It's where the prison is, but we recruited them, and they I have a girl at the label who helped me round up all those guys, and luckily they were in to come dress up for the day, and we fed them, and I don't know if we paid them a little bit. I'm not sure what the deal was on that, but anyway, they were great. We told them to own the part, and they started breaking out in fights and like improvising, and they went for it. So it was pretty cool.
Whose idea was the video?
That was my manager had that idea not long after I'd played him the song, and then we expanded on it from there. But it was his idea. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a lofty, just being presumptuous enough to dress up like Johnny Cash, and I was a little reluctant with that because he's such a legend. I didn't want it to come across like I was trying to steal any of his mojo, but it just seems so fitting, and it's such a classic. That's such a classic concert and piece of Americana that I thought it was too cool to not do. So we went ahead and with it.
Did you check in with the Cash family, or did you get any feedback?
No, because we weren't overt enough. We didn't use any, we didn't mention his name or do anything specific to Johnny Cash. Just the black suit and the get up and the hair. That was about as far as it went.
Okay. What's the most played Sam Hunt song in the Sam Hunt household?
Oh man, I don't play any of my own music at the house unless I'm listening to a new demo I just got back. It's like when you may not feel this way because you're in radio, but I don't know. It'd be like watching a movie you were in, or listening back to for fun to your interviews or something. Like you just, you know what I mean? You don't want to do that.
Okay, no, that makes total sense. And finally, man, what else is coming up in 2024? Is there like a part 2 EP or album or anything else?
No, I'm going to start fresh after this EP comes out, and close that chapter and start a new one. And You know, I look at the EP as obviously it's an EP. There are 4 songs on it, but the 4 songs go with the last 7 or how many 6 that I've put out over the last, I don't know, couple years, 2.5 years. So that really is a whole project. I look at that like a whole project, even though it's not bundled in an album form. So I'm going to start fresh and see what's next from here.
Word, man. Hey, thanks for taking the time to hang.
Yeah, bud. Good talking to you.
You take it easy, man.
All right, buddy. You too.
All right, later. Thanks, dude.
Later, brother. See you.
All right, we'll bring in Billy Dukes to talk about this couple interviews here. What's going on?
I think he got some pretty good juice from Sam Hunt. I don't remember him talking about his arrest and his wife's sort of response to it in any kind of way before.
Yeah, I was surprised that he was going to talk about that. You know, and I figured, even though, you know, the EP is called Locked Up, but even though it's kind of semi-metaphorical, perhaps, I was like, you gotta be open to receiving questions about it. You know, it would be different if it was called like Chicken, or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I think, I wonder how many other people he answered, or I don't know. I wouldn't have asked that before this. So before this Locked Up EP. So I don't know.
No. Yeah, no, I mean, knowing this industry and kind of how country music media works, I bet you most people were even afraid to ask about that. But you're right. I mean, the song's called Locked Up. It talks about a woman's response after being locked up. He wrote the song and famously had some marital problems after he was arrested. I mean, you just, you have to at least recognize that those kind of things happened.
Right. And I thought it was cool that he was like, hey, it's not fully autobiographical, but, you know, it certainly encompasses it a little bit. And, you know, I don't know, one could argue the song wouldn't exist if he didn't get arrested or have the marital problems, but who knows?
So,
but I saw he brought his wife out to the CMT Awards on the red carpet, and isn't that something that they don't really do that a lot?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe not on the red carpet. I've seen her in the crowd before, but you're right. I don't know how many times I've actually seen them walking together.
Yeah.
Getting a little more out there. I'll tell you, what's funny is we had a whole bunch of another set of questions for Sam based on how into talking about the arrest he was. Yeah. And like on a 1 to 10, he was still like level 4 or 5 talking about it, I think.
Yeah.
He wasn't like all about it. But like we were going to ask, like, did you have a cellmate?
What was it like?
Things
Right. Well, you know, and I don't know. Here's what I'll say is that with the recent Morgan Wallen arrest, I feel like it's not. Now, granted, what Sam Hunt did was bad, the DUI. You don't want to do that. You don't want to throw a chair off the 6th roof of a restaurant. But you know what? It's a little bit of that outlaw country that it's coming back a little bit. You know, the biker gang type stuff. You know, it's. I don't know that. If it's something that nobody got hurt, I don't know if getting arrested doesn't hurt your career a little bit.
Oh, no, a good scandal can certainly help you at the right time. A good, well-placed scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so I you know, and I know that, you know, he probably didn't want to get arrested for DUI, but he also didn't go into too much detail about infidelity with his wife.
No. And we're not, I mean, I guess we never really found out. I guess that was the divorce accusation, wasn't it? She suggested as much. But now that, unless he had a song called, I don't know what it'd be called, you know, based on that, I thought that was something we probably couldn't ask too much about, if anything, you know. That was a bit of a third rail topic, I thought, like his marital problems.
Yeah. I guess that song will be called "It Got Messy" because it sounds like it, because everything got aired out. Like, you know, if you remember, his wife announced she was pregnant right after in the divorce papers. So it was like, man. And then as a married guy, you gotta wonder. I wonder, like, how do you? It's weird to me that, and it happens all the time, that people file for divorce, and especially in such a public way as this one was, and then you're like, no, we're all right. Like, that's too extreme. South Pole, North Pole.
My favorite part of this interview was when he was very praising of his wife, very complimentary and like humble about what happened and the lessons he's learned. But then you asked him if he spent the night on the couch. He's like, "Oh, hell no, I ain't sleeping on no couch. I'm sleeping in my bed.
Dude,
I'll die on that sword."
That's so true. That's so true. And coming up in a future episode of Taste of Country Nights on Demand, where we sat down with Luke Bryan, he kind of said got the same tone when I was like, is there a song of yours that can't be played in your house? And then he was like, "I hope nobody doesn't want to hear one of my songs. They've been sleeping in the barn." There's a little bit of, remember what built the house attitude.
I think so. I mean, they certainly have earned that right in their own household to not be pushed around when it comes to the radio.
Yeah, but then you wonder if that right got taken away. You kind of start at negative if you get, if you cheat on your wife, she takes you back. I mean, that's a bold statement after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you would be in the negative points wise to say something like that after someone's, if you've been cheating on your wife, she took you back or whatever, and you're like, "No, I'm sleeping on the couch." Your wife probably hears this and goes, "Excuse me?"
But think about it. If you're Sam Hunt and you look like Sam Hunt and you're as talented as Sam Hunt, I mean, you're probably able to get out of any sort of doghouse that's built. I mean, you just sort of give that soft smile, you apologize, and you write a song.
I don't know. He sounded like his wife gives him the business, like she doesn't care about.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, she doesn't she doesn't really care about his music, and
that's true.
They don't really talk about it.
Not to overlook the Tyler Hubbard interview, which we started the episode off with. I mean, that was a great interview as well. I feel like over the years, you guys have really kind of started to gel a bit. I mean, the conversations have gotten really easy, and I think he's kind of gotten more comfortable with talking about being a solo artist doing this and knowing that he has to kind of carry a full half of the conversation, where before he could kind of rely on BK to do a little bit of the work.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree, and he's definitely opened up a lot more. Me and him have definitely. I'm able to talk to him a little bit better. And with that interview, I was also wondering how much he would talk about BK, because at the time that we recorded that interview, there was like a rumor. There's a BK song out, and there's a rumor that it was about Tyler and blah blah blah, but I don't know that we're ever. I feel like Tyler, BK, and their spouses know how they stand right now. I don't feel like we'll ever know what happened or where they stand.
I feel like BK's going to kind of keep leaning into it to a certain degree. And he does. I know the song you're talking about where he kind of leans into it a little bit without saying the thing and never definitively gives anybody any information. But I don't know. I feel like he'll keep doing that.
I feel like it's going to be on deafer ears, not deaf ears maybe, but deafer ears, because Tyler, his first two songs went number one and he's taken off. And,
right.
Florida Georgia Line, like if you listen to any Florida Georgia Line song, it's Tyler's voice that cuts through. And that's on purpose, but I think that's why Tyler is having more success, because you hear his voice and you instantly know who it is, and it's Florida Georgia Line. I think there's some people out there that hear Dancing in the Country and the other one and 5'9" and think that that's Florida Georgia Line.
A little bit. I think you're probably right. BK's got a little bit more of a hill to climb for some solo success. And the songs he released have been good. He had a little bit of a minor hit that actually last year, and I got nothing against him personally. I have no interest in like whatever feud they have. Like, it's not interesting to me in the least bit to find out, unless it's something really spicy, but it's probably not. I think the popular theory is that it has to do with politics maybe, or some sort of interband fight. It's not like anybody stole anybody's wife or anything stupid like that. So, like, I just didn't feel like I didn't want to ask him because I felt like that would have tanked what could have been a really good interview otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. And the world may never know, just like how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop, But according to Billy Dukes, do we want to know? The music speaks for itself. Just listen to the music and be happy.
Quick shout out to Evan, who sent a smiley face emoji Slack to someone else while I was talking there. So glad to see I got your rapt attention.
Sure do, man. Yeah,
my quick wit.
It must have been a scheduled Slack message.
Sure.
I'm locked in now.
All right. Well, I got nothing else to say, so we're probably pretty good.
That's funny.